My name is Patrick, Patrick.
Okay. Let's stop there. Action. Why should people come to Cuenca?
There's a lot of really good reasons to visit Cuenca. The city itself is very old, and many of the buildings and churches are 100, 150, 200 years old. And it's beautiful colonial architecture. There's a lot of great museums in town. The Pumapunga Museum is the largest, no, it's not the largest, but it's an Inca ruins right within the city. So I mean, you can walk to the ruins, the Inca ruins, and go through the elaborate museum, inside and out. And there's film festivals here throughout the year, international film festivals, and those are really great to see. There's a lot of partying in this town. They're never shy away from having a good fiesta here. So there's days every week that are usually devoted to some parties, and then there's weeks that are devoted to parties on some holidays. The independences of Guayaquil and Quito are all celebrated here, and people come from those cities to celebrate in Cuenca. So I mean, even within the country, they know that Cuenca is a great place to go to party down and have a good time. There's a lot of great parades that happen, musical events. There's a big music festival that happens here. The the Municipal Art Museum, the Museum of Modern Art is what it is. It has a changing show every month, and you can go there every month and see something different. And lots of musical events going on all the time. It's very live at night. There's a great transition that the city goes through at night, like most cities do, but it's very nice down here. Everything calms down. A lot of music starts playing, and it's very safe. It's well lit, and that's another good reason. A lot of good reasons to come here is the food. It's the comidas típica, the typical food of Ecuador, is delicious by itself, and there's a lot of modern chefs here creating some amazing food to eat. So it's a lot of good reasons.
Great. Rap. Action. Okay. What is it about Cuenca that was appealing to you?
Well, there's a lot of things that Cuenca offered that I liked. The first of which was the artistic community here. Apart from all the other reasons people move here, from economic reason, too much money in the United States to retire, and apart from that, it was the culture here. There was a completely different culture. There's an encouragement of art here in all respects, in writing, in painting, in illustrating, in poetry, in filmmaking, music, stage, and it seemed like an ideal place to move to, especially considering the climate, being at the equator and being much warmer than where I was from, which is up in the north of the United States, Northwest, Pacific Northwest. And the food was appealing too. I think we found out that there was like 600 and some restaurants in a town of 500,000. So there's obviously a focus on food there, and then of course the quality of food here is just amazing. Everything is fresh. It's a different experience when you dine, because it takes a couple of hours to go eat somewhere instead of the US type fast food where you'd pull up in your car and roll down the window, and 5 minutes later you're driving down the road eating instead of sitting down with your friends and family and ordering, and then having someone go make whatever you ordered fresh. So it's quite a different experience in that regard, food-wise. Climate-wise, it's fantastic. It's not super hot here. There's quite a few clouds actually, and which is, you know, coming from Washington State, it's cloudy there too. So it's comforting in a way, I guess. And so there's rain that comes through, but we're at the crest of the Andes with the Pacific Ocean on one side and the Amazon rainforest on the other. So you have this beautiful warm air that flows up from the east all the time, coming in and cleans the air of the city, and that's a beautiful thing. And then there's the people. People are just incredibly friendly here, really nice people.
Okay. Up a little bit right there. Action. Today, how do you feel about your decision on moving to Cuenca? Do you think you would move back to the States, or will this be home forever?
I feel great about my decision to move to Cuenca and in Ecuador. All of my experiences here have been positive. Even what you might call the slightly negative experiences were great learning experiences that didn't cost me very much. It's a beautiful place. I love the people here. I love the culture here. I have no regrets about moving here. And I never really planned to move back to the United States before I left, and that hasn't changed. I really don't think that there's anything other than some dear friends in the United States that I would want to go back and see. I won't move back. I'll probably go back and visit at some point, but it's not real high on my priority list at this point. My goal is to draw all of my friends down here to visit me instead. And so far it's working pretty good. I've had 2 visitors in a year and a half, so, and they want to come back as well, so.
Great. Up a little bit right there. Action. Okay, what type of budget should a person have to live comfortable here?
Well, it's fairly easy to live comfortably on $1,000 a month in Cuenca. You can live on less. It depends on how comfortable you are with living in the city or in the country. You can get pretty good deals on housing and all around. Further away from the city you get, the harder it is to get around. You need to be depending on buses. And if you're on a real budget, you wouldn't be taking taxis. But it's very friendly to pedestrians here. It's very friendly for bicycles. It's possible to rent a place to live for $150 to $200 a month. And that may in fact include appliances, or not just appliances, but electricity and phone, internet services too. So budgets for food is, you know, depending on if you make your own food and you go to the markets. And part of it depends on how well you know Spanish. If you know Spanish, you can save a lot of money. If you're willing to try and learn Spanish, you can save a lot of money. You don't even have to know the language, you just have to try. And most people are very accepting and generous, which is another wonderful feature of the folks here in Cuenca, is a great generosity and friendliness.
Okay. I have up some action. What are some of your hobbies to keep you busy here in Cuenca?
Well, the thing that is my hobby is also my work. I hate to tarnish my hobby with the word work, because work is always something you don't really want to be doing. And I love doing what I do, which is recording music and playing music and working with musicians. So when I moved here, I moved my entire recording studio from the States and set it up here. It's called Monolab, and I record the local musicians and work with film companies and with just anybody who wants to record something. And it's absolutely fabulous. There's just a ton of projects going on here. There's a lot of very talented musicians, and it's been a really fun experience meeting these people. And have only been here about a year and a half, and have met 80 people who I consider friends, and probably 30 of them are musicians, and 60 of them are artists. It's very common for virtually everyone to play guitar or piano or sing or draw or write or paint. It's part of the culture that I love, and part of what makes having a studio here really, really wonderful. One of the things I did just complete, which I was really fortunate to work on, was a film made by Patricio Palomeque. It's called La Suma de los Círculos, and it's a movie based on the poems of César Dávila Andrade. And the poem is called Catedral Salvaje, Catedral Salvaje. And it was just a unique opportunity because of the people that I met, that I was able to, what I say is, contribute to the culture of Ecuador. So as a foreigner coming here, I felt really privileged to be able to work on this film. And it will be premiering in November.
Action. What do you wish you did differently in the planning of moving here?
When we began our plans to move to Ecuador, we did a lot of online research. We looked at a lot of YouTube videos. We, of course, purchased books and read a lot of books about the different countries here. And then we followed online to find out what the political situation was here. We were happy to move here, and the one thing I would probably do is I would fill my container up to the brim with stuff instead of only halfway. There's a lot of things here that are hard to get here in Ecuador because of import duties and manufacturing regulations. And there's some things that I didn't think I would need here that I did. It's somewhat difficult to try and guess at what you need before you come to a foreign country. I guess my advice there was, if you could, I was unable to do this, is to actually come to the country first and live here for a couple months and find out what it's like, and then make your decision on whether you're going to live here or not. I didn't do that, and that's something I would really recommend doing. I have no regrets, though. I'm really glad I'm here, and I didn't really forget all that much, but the stuff I did forget, I really wish I would have brought it.
Great answer.